everyone, welcome to ChinesePod. My name's Fiona.
我是方景。
Welcome back to part 2 of our Qing Wen on le. In this particular segment, we're dealing with the change of state le. Now, I bet you're so sick of us saying, oh, this is the change of state le. What does that mean? So in this particular video, we're going to be giving you loads of examples on how this le is used and how it's different from the other le's.
这个了为什么我们叫做情况改变呢？状况改变的了。第一个，它其实是一个语气，它表示现在有了新的情况，或是原来的情况已经改变了。这时候我们会用这个了。然后呢，它总是在句子的最后面。
Okay, so there's two distinguishing features about this change of state le. The reason it's referred to as the change of state le is that you're highlighting that something's changed. There's a new situation now. And also there's another thing is that it's always at the end of a sentence, right? So it closes a sentence. It shows this is my fact. This situation has changed. Now we have a new situation.
那我们用这个语气的了要提醒，要说出来说，有一个新的情形为什么要这样子说？通常就是为了要引起注意，或是提醒别人，或者是提出一个劝告或是建议，还有呢一个评论，甚至是针对一种特殊的情形，这时候我们才会加上这个结束的语气。
So Constance mentioned something very important there. This change of state le is a 语气词. 语气 is when you add tone or it's a manner of speaking. So why do you do this? You do this to get someone's attention. You do this to give someone warning. You do this to give someone advice, to bring out a question, to make a comment on something, right? So in English, this le is often not translated in the sentence. It almost makes whatever point you're trying to highlight, it kind of turns it into italics in English, right? So you go, it's raining, or it could be, it's right. You know, there's usually something there. There's a mood or a feeling you're trying to express, and that's when you use this change of state le. So now let's move on to some examples where we might be highlighting something to someone, we might be giving someone some warning, we might be making comment on a situation.
比方最常听到的就是下雨了。
So this is one of the most common examples. 下雨了. Now you might translate it as it's raining or it's raining, right? It depends on the context. But another way to think of it, it's raining now. It wasn't raining before, now it's raining.
对。
You're highlighting to someone that it's raining now.
对。
下雨了。
有一个新的情况。
There's a new situation.
对。再来呢，花开了。
The flower has blossomed. 花开了. It was closed before. Now it's blossomed. This is the new situation.
这个时候你可能是为了引起注意，或是你自己注意了，所以你会告诉别人花开了。
So maybe there was a bunch of flowers in the office that were closed before, and you've come into your office and you're saying to your colleague, 花开了,
对
right?
对对。
The flower has blossomed.
那再来呢，可能是用来做一个评论，比方说他的病好了。
Okay, so maybe you're making a comment on a situation. He's better now. His illness is gone, right? 他病好了, right? He's better now.
所以我们就发现这个了不是只能跟动词在一起，因为好是一个 adjective，所以其实我们就知道它不是跟动作有关系的，它是跟整个句子的情况有关系。
So this le isn't only paired with verbs, it's also paired with adjectives. And because of that, we know that this le has more to do with the sentence as a whole rather than particular words in the sentence.
那最后一个例子呢，就是他去美国了。
Okay, so the final example is 他去美国了, he's gone to America, right? He wasn't there before, he's there now.
对，所以这个了跟前面那个去了不太一样。他去美国了，就是我告诉你现在的情况是他去美国，所以他去美国了，那表示他现在还在那里，没有回来。
Right. So this is the new situation. This person is still in America. He's gone to America. 他去美国了. Now I see you looking at me and you're saying, Fiona and Constance, But sometimes I see two las in a sentence. What's going on there? So let's deal with that particular sentence structure now.
我们还是从最基本、最简单的句子来发现哦。
Let's look at some basic sentences first.
最常听到的一个例子就是他吃了饭了。
他吃了饭了. Two las there. She's just had dinner. What's going on, right? 了. So let's deal with it part by part. 他吃了. So here, that's the action complete 了, right? They've completed this action of eating. And then why is it the second 了?
最后一个了，我们说了，他是为了表示有一个新的情况。刚刚他没有吃饭，他可能饿着。那现在他吃了饭了，我要确定告诉别人说，哎，这个新的情形发生了。所以可能是一个评论，可能是一个提醒，但重点就是这时候句子就说完了。
So the most important thing with this 了 is indicating that I'm highlighting a new situation for you, or I'm making a comment on something and I'm finished saying what I want to say. If you say 他吃了饭, like we said in the previous video, you'll be like, she finished, and right? But if you say 他吃了饭了, 他吃了饭了, you close it with that 了. That the point you're trying to highlight is that she's finished. She's completely done now, right? She probably was eating before, and maybe someone's asked, oh, has she eaten?
他吃了饭了。
Yeah, 她吃了饭了, right? She's definitely done this. I'm telling you that that's the situation now. Let's have one more example where we have the two las.
像刚刚我们说的，他去了美国了。
去了美国了. So let's have a little thing. 她去了. They've gone. This action's been completed. 她去了美国了, right? So we're definitely saying that that's a situation now.
对。
This person is in the US. They're
对。
not with us here. 她去了美国了.
所以前面我们讲这个他去美国了，这是一个情况，告诉别人说这个情况现在是这样。他去了美国了，又强调已经去了，结束这个动作，还强调现在他还在那里。
So the emphasis is that this action has been complete. They've already gone to America. But the second emphasis is that they're still there, right? 她去了美国了。
对。
So maybe I'm asking Constance, where's Lisa? I haven't seen her at work.
他找到新工作了。
So she's found a new job, right? You can see in my translation, the le isn't there. But the point is that she's found a new job. That's a new situation. You're highlighting, you're making a comment. You're giving someone the most updated situation.
所以你们就发现，我们不一定要把了放在每一个动词后面，我们只是放在最后，表示这整个情形是现在最新的状况。
So there you see that you don't have to put the le behind the verb to show that this action's been finished. In fact, you're just putting it at the end of the sentence to say that that's my comment, that's the current situation.
没错。
So at this point, we want to draw your attention to something. When you see two le's in a sentence, its function isn't to give you double the emphasis that something's been finished. In fact, the first le is to just say that this has been this action, this particular verb is done, right? And the second le is just to highlight that I'm finished saying what I've wanted to say.
告诉大家说，这就是现在最新的情况。
So this is the most updated current situation of whatever you're speaking about or whatever you're being asked. Now you might have noticed I've been translating things as something, comma, now, right? It's raining now. She's finished eating now. This isn't a hard and fast rule, but it's something that, for example, Gwilym found very useful in understanding this change of state le, right? It kind of focuses your mind in thinking, what's the current situation? What's the latest situation? And maybe you'll find that useful too. Now, this rule even kind of works when you're talking about things in the past, right? With the example of
去年他就去美国了。
去年他就去美国了. So you already went to the States last year. Because in that particular sentence in Chinese, you're being moved to that particular moment last year, right? In that point of time, it was now, right? He had just moved to
对，
the
是一个
US.
新的情况，发生在去年。
Yeah. So maybe you find that useful, maybe you don't, but as long as you get that key point of you're giving someone the most recent situation and you're kind of finishing your sentence, then hopefully you'll be able to use this second change of state 了。Now we're going to move on to the most elusive, the most difficult, and the one you probably encounter when you first start learning Chinese and you're like, what's going on here? The third emphasis, 了. Now at this point, if you want to take a break, please do. If not, we'll see you at the next video. 好，我们下个影片见，再见。